Sissy?
1974 was really the best situation, and I think her situation is the most ordinary.
Being in a family.
In a family with her family support, so she really has the opportunity to decide what she wants to do, but the decision is it's still grueling.
You know what? Hers bothers me the most in a way. Sissy's bothers me the most because it kind of rips my heart out that this woman who has done, what, 4 children and been this perfect mother, and this woman is always working. You know, she never stops, and she has to make the decision. I mean, she wants to have a different kind of life, but she's such a good mother and such a good woman that she, in some way, decides, if not to sacrifice, but at least...
Yeah, she does sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean...
The decision is, I'm going to sacrifice and put my life on hold.
I'm going to sacrifice what I would really like because this is more important to my family.
Yeah.
And so that's what women are, as far as I can see, except for me. I'm not.
I think it's important to show that there's not one way.
That there's not one way.
That an abortion is not always
the answer.
The answer.
And in a way, because obviously the 50s represents a time where there was no outlet at all. There was nothing available, no information, no support. And where we go to the 90s, and it's become so volatile, and the positions and the feelings are so, out there, and the individual is getting lost. And what we find with sissies is that the individual is all you've got.
Well, what's so interesting too is what we're talking about, how we have forgotten, because one of my young staffers, I have to say, who saw the film, young, says to me, I don't know, why would she do that to herself? Why would she? Yeah, from the 50s. Why would she do that to herself? Why wouldn't she just go to the hospital? And I said,
that's what my
the whole point.
Said. She saw it and she went, well, that's not true. Why is she doing that? And I said, babe, because that's what they did.
That's what they did.
When my grandmother saw it, my grandmother knew immediately, that and coat hangers, she said, and we're so far removed from that.
There's an emotional scene from Denny's part of the movie. There's an emotional scene set in 1952.
I tried to take care of it. You can't stay here. You have to have this baby somewhere else.
Becky, I can't have this baby. I just can't do it. I'm going to have to have an abortion.
How could you do this? How could you? Okay, baby, let's go. Come on, we're going. Come on. We have to go. If my mother ever finds out about this, it'll kill her. So I don't give a damn what you do. How dare you shame us like this? How dare you?
Whoa.
The really sad part is, because obviously I'm a product of the 70s and I had no real idea, very limited information. There is such a plethora of information about women who have lost their lives, amazing women. And, it was fortunate that we had it available to share and to show, but very unfortunate, and certainly something that continued to remind me of why I wanted to be involved and to make this.
Well, a very private and traumatic event became a public nightmare for Robin and Michael, who are here. In 1962, when abortion was illegal, as it was in the scene we saw in 1952, of course, in 62, they were young college sweethearts looking to end their unwanted pregnancy. What happened to you?
Well, it sort of reminded me of Dimmy's story, where we were going around together trying to find a doctor who would do it, and the heat was on in the Bronx. Nobody was doing it. We had this list from college girls, and finally we found a doctor in the Bronx that would do it, and we had the operation.
Without anesthesia?
No anesthesia, D&C, don't make too much noise. We're in an apartment building. And then afterwards, we were so relieved. We go down in the elevator, we walk outside, and all these cops jump us. Put Mike in one cop car, me in another cop car, bring me to another doctor to be examined to make sure. That's what happened. Then they put me in jail. They threw in a box of Kotex. And the one thing I didn't want my parents to find out about it, so I told them that I was an orphan. But he was in the next room. He told them who my parents were. So they came down to court the next morning.
And an article appeared in
the New York Post on the second page. You
and you were fired from your...
Hunter Coed's court and abortion, and there it is.
Wow.
And so my brother went around in our building and picked up everybody's newspaper so that our neighbors couldn't read that story.
Whoa. You were fired from your job as a result?
Yeah.
When it was in the paper?
Yeah, I was a lifeguard at Orchard Beach, and my lieutenant came up to the chair in the middle of the summer and told me that I have to be relieved of my duties.
And you were, how old were you?
I was 19.
You were 19 at the time, too. But now you're married, and you've been married for 32 years.
Right.
And you have 2 children.
Right.
Next, one of Cher's scenes is a doctor battling abortion protesters, and we'll meet a woman who was shot while trying to protect a real-life doctor. We'll be back in a moment.